The best way I can describe it is there are some days that I'm walking on concrete and I'm just moving right along. Then a couple days later, I'm walking through rocks and it's a little trickier to get from point A to point B. Several days later, I may start walking through sand where it gets a little harder, but I can still get through it. And then there are days where I'm walking through mud. And those days are really, really hard. You can't hardly put one foot in front of the other. You can't do the things that you were wanting to do, that you love to do. So that's the best way of describing it. My little peach tree that I just got has the prettiest little pink blooms on it. This is called the Bella Georgia, and she is showing off for spring. Wow, what a difference a few days can make, huh? Look at these. I just watered them day before yesterday, so I haven't been out in a while. This one really went to town. But I am so excited about how well these are doing. And my vegetables are up now. Yep, vegetables are coming up. So we will have plenty to eat and plenty to sell this season. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. Spring is on the way. My plants are sprouting, my flowers are starting to bloom, my trees have little buds on them. I'm excited about it and I hope you are too. Our growing season is just around the corner and things are going to start getting busy. So if you have things to do in the house, in the sheds, in the garage, now's the time to do it before you have to be outside attending to all of those things. So a couple of months ago, I put out a question on my comments section, wanting to know, I've been on YouTube for 4 years and I've made, I think, 175 videos. And so I decided to finally do one of those, do you have any questions for me? And I've got some interesting ones. And I bet you can probably guess what was the number one most asked question. And I'm going to save that for number one. The rest of them are all going to be randomly numbered. I am not going to say who asked these questions to respect their privacy. So let's go. Number 10, and I really like this question. What inspired you to start your YouTube channel? And what initially drew you to the content that you create? Well, the content that I create is who I am. I love to cook. I love to do crafts. I love to be outside. I love animals. I love growing things. I love harvesting my own food. I'm a country girl at heart. So I wanted it to be authentic to who I am. I started my YouTube channel because it was right during the height of the pandemic. And I felt very isolated and alone because at that time, a lot of things were going on in our country that made me feel like I didn't fit in anymore. And there had to be more people out there like me who believed like me. I just could not believe that my country had changed that much. So I wanted to have my own platform as a hobby, totally hobby platform, to discuss American history, growing things, preserving things, and becoming more self-sufficient. Number 9, and this is a really good question too, so thank you. It says, what's your favorite video you made so far? And hands down, my favorite video, and I will include it up here in case you haven't seen it, is called My Summer Song 23. I'm not teaching you anything. I'm not saying anything. I had found out in November, at the end of November in 2022, that I had a serious type of blood cancer, of leukemia, and I was given 2 years to live. at that time. And my immune system was terribly compromised because I had started oral chemo at that time. And so, here comes summer. I'm not really able to go anywhere for vacation because I didn't really want to be around people or in hotels so that's when I started my growing journey really here at the homestead. And my husband would take me on little day trips, little trips that we could stay in the car and go for rides and see interesting things. And my flowers that year were beautiful, and I was able to capture, I really feel like that year in that video, I was really able to capture how I felt. It's gonna be hard to get through this without crying. But I found this beautiful music as well. 'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus. And when you get a diagnosis like that, that really is all you can do other than do what your doctors tell you to do. You have to trust in Jesus no matter what happens. And I really feel like in that video, I captured that. And I hope you guys, if you haven't seen it, you'll watch it and that you enjoy it. Number 8. Since you found out about your cancer, you must have a bucket list. What's one thing on your bucket list you hope to accomplish? In all honesty, I really don't have a bucket list. My husband and I have talked about this because he does. And I think it just has to do with, I love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I love where I live. I love my family. It's just, there's nothing that can top that. But if I had to come up with an experience, definitely on my bucket list, there's only one thing, and that is I would like to go to Custer State Park in South Dakota when they bring the buffaloes in. Have you guys ever seen that? So if I haven't told you already, the buffalo is my favorite, absolute favorite mammal. And it has so much American history associated with it. In my favorite video that I just mentioned, we found a park where you drive through in Kentucky. And it said that there were buffalo on the premises, but we had driven and not seen anything. And then we come around the corner and there they are, and they weren't going to move. And it was just amazing to me. And I can't imagine what it would be like to see them bring those buffalo in. It would sound like thunder, first of all. And I think it would be really something for an American history lover to witness and see and be a part of. So what they do is those animals roam freely all year long. But once a year in September, they have to bring them in. They count them, they make sure that they're healthy, they get their immunizations, their shots, that type of thing, because they want to take care of them. So they also have, and they let people try out. I think they have a lottery to be a cowboy to bring them in. And what a wonderful experience for people who can ride like that, to be involved in. So that I would love to do. I've talked about doing it this September. It's all outdoors, so I wouldn't have to be inside in close proximity with other people. So that might just happen. Little Miss Naomi is showing off in her new hot pink saddle because her boyfriend, Cordell, was getting a little rough with her and she was starting to lose her feathers. Oh, there he is. So she's been doing really well with it. She doesn't mess with it at all, and the other ones don't bother her. So she thinks she is all it in a bag of chips. Number 7. And I've seen this question asked to a lot of YouTube content creators, and that is, how do you come up with your video ideas? Well, for me, I'm a history buff. I do this stuff every day. I am also a news junkie, and so I keep up with current events. So my videos are about those things. They're about what I know, what I'm interested in, what I would like to learn about. If there's something I don't know a whole lot about, I'll do some investigating on it. So I really try to be true to my videos, my opinions. Those are who I am. And that's where I come up with my ideas. And I think that's how a lot of YouTube channels are. They have something that's of interest to them. And but it's so important, I believe, to stay true to who you are and don't back down. And I had some really interesting questions, things that bother people, they want answers to. And the next one is, Cordell is such a pain in the butt. Why don't you film inside? So Cordell is my rooster, and you're probably going to hear him anytime start yelling. And I know that can be annoying, but let me explain. My chickens, any chickens that you get from a store, have never had a mother show them how to do things. And a lot of what they do is natural instinct. So Cordell is working very, very hard to let everyone know he's around to protect those hens. Also, too, since he didn't have a mother and the hens didn't have a mother, guess whose mother? Even though Cordell on some days can't stand me and wants to flog me every chance he gets, for the most part, he follows me around. If I'm in the front yard, here they all come. If I'm in the backyard, here they all come. If I come in the she shed, they're going to be up here by the door pretty soon. And even when I go into the house, if I have my kitchen window open, they will congregate around the window because they hear me. Now, they don't do that because they love me. They do that because I feed them. A lot like Marshall Dillon. So they know when mom's around, they're going to get snacks, they're going to get good food, they're going to get babied, and, you know, they like attention. So I am sorry if you find him annoying. I'll never get rid of Cordell. He's doing a great job, and I am learning a lot about chicken behavior, and I'm giving him the space he needs, and I respect him for the job that he has to do. And all I can say is if he annoys you, then, you know, you probably ought to move on down the road. Okay, I think this is number 5. I'll take my glasses off so you guys can get the full effect, okay? Why don't you get rid of that hideous mole under your eye? It's so distracting. When I first saw this question, it's a question. When I first saw this, I couldn't believe that's the question they came up with. But then, yeah, I believed it, because there are some people in this world that are very shallow. And with all of the major things happening in our world that they could ask a question about, that maybe I would or wouldn't have the answer to, that's all they could focus on was my mole. Well, I've had this mole since I was born. My dad calls it a beauty mark. Don't know about that, but it's never really slowed me down. I guess I'm just used to it. Okay. So when my granddaughters were little, they were very fascinated with it. You know, do you feel it? They call me Grandma. Do you feel it, Grandma? Does it bother you? And I told my granddaughters, we used to go swimming and we would pretend that we were mermaids. Every time we went swimming, we were mermaids, you know, swimming around. And I told them about the lost city of Atlantis, the city that went under the sea. And I told them that I was the queen of Atlantis and that my people were looking for me, but they couldn't find me. Except they'd been told that the queen would appear one day with a mole under her eye, And I wanted my people to know that when they found me, I was their queen. Well, number one, they were like, oh, really? And then they were like, is there really such a thing as the lost city of Atlantis? You know, so we started looking that up and having fun with that too. But you guys, things like that you might have that other people think are different, that's what makes you unique. And I would hate to think what they would say about someone who had maybe a bigger birthmark on their face or a disability of some kind. You know, well, I'm answering it. I'm answering the question, no matter how shallow it is. I'll never get rid of my hideous mark. And I really hope that you dig deep. Number 4, this is a real good question too. And these are, like I said, these are in no particular order. You talk a lot about history. What historical figure or figures, living or dead, would you love to have lunch with? So I think I should explain that I do have a bachelor's degree in American history with a minor in Native American culture. And I've learned a lot about historical figures. Now, of course, number 1 would be Jesus. And I do hope to meet him someday. So, well, I'm positive I'm going to meet him someday. But other than God and Jesus, I think the number 1 for me would be Abraham Lincoln. And I don't really know that I would ask him any questions, really. He served as our president during the most terrible time in our history, the most divided time in our history, and did whatever it took, and some of it was bloody and terrible, to keep our country united. And he came from nothing. So if I could have lunch with President Lincoln, I would just want to hold his hand. I would just want to pat his hand and tell him thank you. Wow. Look at these zinnias. They are going to town. They're gorgeous. They love it when it gets warm outside. Here we got some tomatoes, some Abe Lincoln tomatoes and some peppers that are up. We're off to a good start. Number 3, is there anything you are not going to grow this year? Yes, I am not growing sweet potatoes or regular potatoes for several reasons. They're just too cheap. You can get them at the store. It's not worth, to me, it's a lot of work. I'm getting older. It's hard to get in there and dig them up on my hands and knees. They take up a lot of room. Sweet potatoes you can't sell right away because you have to let them age. That's where their sweetness comes in. So even if I went and harvested them for the fall, I would want them to sit for about 3 months for those sweet juices to get through them. So it's just not worth my time. I need to grow things that I can right away or that I can sell right away. So potatoes are off the list for this year. Number 2, what question do I get asked most often? This is definitely one of them. How is your health? So November of 2024 made 2 years. So I passed that, didn't I? And I'm very, very excited about that. My white blood cells have leveled off. I'm in no means in remission, but they have leveled off. They're not going up. They're not really going down. They're just staying the same. The side effects that I've had, the worst, are the headaches that I get, migraines. They're better now. They used to last 2 or 3 days at a time, and now they're only a day, and then they'll pass. Nausea, joint pain, stiffness in my joints, And night sweats. So I still have a lot of symptoms. And I thought, well, I'm doing pretty good. And I am doing pretty good. But that's what makes homesteading hard, is there are days that I have a full list of things that I really, really want to do. And I just don't have the energy to do. I just can't, or I'm not feeling good. That is really hard on me mentally, when there's things I want to do that I can't. But then the next day when I'm feeling good, I'll try to accomplish what I had set out to do before. So my most recent doctor visit, which was just a week ago, it's called ferritin level, which is the iron in your body, was off the charts. So just because I asked my doctor this, I'm like, well, but my white blood cells are staying stable. He said, yes, we do look at that, but even though those are staying stable, you still have cancer active in your body, and there's inflammation somewhere. And we're going to have to make a decision, what we're going to do about your treatment going forward in the very near future. So I had to get a CAT scan last Thursday, and I'm happy to say that my liver, my kidneys, my chest, all of those things are fine. And I'm very excited about that. My spleen is still enlarged, because that's where those cancer cells go. That's, they clean those out of your system. But the majority of my bone marrow, that's where those cancer cells grow, that's where they live, is cancerous. And I also have what's called a 17p deletion, and that means that it's aggressive. So that's why oncology, really watches me closely. They're great. I couldn't ask for better doctors. So since my CAT scan came back good, then I will go next Tuesday and get more blood work. That's a more comprehensive panel that will tell him more, and that will tell oncology more. And then I see him Thursday. And I know he's going to want to, really narrow down, when are we going to start these treatments? So, I'm really not looking forward to them, because they are going to make me sick. Until my body gets used to it, they are going to make me sick. And, it's right during growing season, you guys. I don't have time for it. But I'll do whatever they tell me to do. And so that's where I'm at. I've passed the 2-year mark, and we're still trying to figure out treatment. And you guys, this will be an ongoing thing. My life has changed. My whole life is right here. This is it. I can't do the things I used to do, like be around people a lot, be that social. I can do things outdoors. We have friends over, and go places that we can be outdoors and whatnot. But for the most part, my husband does the grocery shopping. And, I'll occasionally get out if I know it's not super busy, like early in the morning or, late in the evening. But for the most part, this is it. I work here, and I live here, and this is my life. So that's where I'm at. I'll keep you guys posted when we start that new treatment. And number 1, what is the most asked question that I got, that I continue to get over and over and over? And that is, are you going to be making any more videos about the Henson Creek House of Prayer? Or would you please, please, please make a follow-up video about Titus Morris and the Henson Creek House of Prayer? Or do you think you owe so-and-so an apology? Do you think you should do this or do that? That's number one. Now, the reason for that is because I'm going to give you a little timeline here. I saw in a newspaper an article about a person who had no identity. And by that, I mean no social security number, basically they were off grid, living off grid from the government, and did a lot of preserving and old-timey skills and was a very interesting person. Well, I read this article, so I started Googling more about this person and came across a video. Peter Santinello is a videographer you guys may be familiar with. He is just excellent. I really admire him and his style. Well, he did a video with this person and I loved it. And he followed it up with several other videos with this person. And I tell you what, now remember, this was not long after I found out I had cancer. It was so wonderful to see something in real time like that gave you hope, that you were really seeing God's hand at work. And I was just fascinated by this man and what he was trying to do, and with his relationship with Peter Santinello. So on my first video, I was recommending that my viewers go check him out and let me know what they thought. And I was just really excited about the whole mission. On the second, I did a follow-up video after that. I'm going to post all of these up here, but I did a second video on that, answering questions that I got from the first video that I did. A lot of criticism, actually, and I couldn't get it because here I was praising somebody and sending people to his channel. And actually, on my first video, Peter Santinello commented himself and told me thank you. He thought it was a very sweet video. So I was really, really thrilled about that he even saw it. My second video, I answered questions from my viewers that I got on the first and addressed some criticism that I had gotten on the first two. And a lot of the criticism was about the shirt I was wearing. They didn't like the shirt I was wearing. Okay, well, I have moved on. You know, I've got a lot of videos up between those two and had moved on. And I kept getting messages from my viewers saying, are you going to follow up on this? Or how do you feel about this now? Or what do you think about this? Have you seen this video? Have you watched this? Well, I let it go on for some time. And then I thought, maybe I should, what the heck is going on? Well, at that time, there were a lot of videos up of courthouse proceedings. There were videos that had been put up by the person himself, other videos put up by other channels talking about the situation, and my mind was blown. I'm 63. I should have known better. I should have known better. Man fails time and time and time again. And when you put someone up on a pedestal like this, they're always going to let you down. And I say that pretty confidently. People that I have put up here have let me down one way or another throughout life. And that's because no one is perfect. And boy, there was a lot going on. So, I received hundreds and hundreds of questions. So I thought it's time that I do address this. So I did a third video. I tried to be very fair in that third video. I went through a timeline of what happened when, why I made a first video, why I made a second video, what had come out since, And how did I feel about it? My opinions. This is my channel. I can give my opinions. This is still the United States of America. I can give my opinions. And I'm going to. That's never going to change. It's just like you have given me your opinions on what I said and what I did. You don't agree with. Some of it you do, some of it you don't. You're entitled to your opinions, just as I am. So I gave my opinions. And so that's the end of it. I don't really have any more to say. So in answer to the question, are you going to do a follow-up? Can you do another video about that? Can you tell us what you think now? Do you feel you owe someone an apology? No, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to apologize for my opinions. I stand by what I said then. I stand by it now. If you would have asked me last Wednesday, what was the weather doing? I could have told you it was raining. If you asked me today, what was the weather doing last Wednesday? I would tell you it was raining because nothing has changed. My opinions have not changed. And that's one reason. Another reason is that I'm not going to discuss this further on any more videos is it has gotten so dark and ugly. These people that are involved in this situation, I can't even describe to you how ugly it has gotten. Every one of the major players has contacted me. One of them is borderline harassment. And I said this on the end of my third video, I really wish the best for everyone involved. I know none of them. I've never met any of them. I'm just giving my opinion on what was out there because my viewers asked me to, since I had praised them beyond the clouds in my first one. But it's gotten dark, it's gotten ugly, and there's some people that need some major help. And I'm moving on. I'm moving on, you guys. I'm moving on. So that was my number one asked question I get over and over, and I guarantee you I'm going to get more questions over and over and over after this, but we're leaving it at that. So from now on, you guys, we're going back to our history. We're going back to our planting. We're going back to our preserving. We're going back to our self-sufficiency. We're going back to current events. And yes, if I see people on YouTube, I want you to go see because I think they are fantastic. I'm going to send you their way. Whether you decide to follow or not, I don't know. But I still have opinions. And yeah, so that's where we're going to go. So you guys, thank you so much for your questions. They were fun. Some of them were really fun. And some of them were very interesting and thought-provoking. And I appreciate it. If you have more questions, leave them down below because I'll address them in another video. Like, subscribe, and share. If you're so inclined, I really, really appreciate it, you guys. You really are the best, even though some of you can be mean and grouchy. But it's an outlet for me, and I love it. I love it, and I hope you'll join me on this journey. So spring's around the corner. Let's get busy.